Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's your boy Sarah coming at you again, and today it's time to go ahead and do our end of the year special with the top 10 video games of 2025. So, 2025 was an incredible game for video games, all they like, to the point where I was not able to play all of the greats. And it's like just because it's like being mixed up with like stuff that I was playing, backlog stuff, trying new things, and then also all the good games that I was able to try that came out this year. It was kind of crazy that that we were able to go ahead and have such a phenomenal year with video games, to the point where, I mean, obviously the Game Awards have already passed, and we already see the overwhelming authority that Expedition 33 had throughout this whole year. So it's really good to see that that every single game that was nominated for Game of the Year list did deserve, I believe, the chance. Now I was able to play all of those games. Unfortunately, no. I will be playing them, of course, but it's like, there's a few games I have not played, so I'll be very honest up front here on basically what you will not see in this top 10. First is going to be Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I do have it. I have it downloaded, and I'm ready to play it, but I have not played the game yet. So I cannot say how I feel about that. So unfortunately, that will not be here. Next will be Death Stranding 2. Another game I am very excited to play, and I really, really tried to go ahead and prepare to play the second one, but I still had to play the first one. I went on a kind of a Kojima, journey this year, trying out all the Metal Gears, and be basically playing 1 through 3, only playing Revengeance in my life, and or Rising, and just wanted to go ahead and go through that. And I was like, well, let me try to go play Death Stranding 1, because I am interested in Death Stranding 2. It looks pretty cool. So unfortunately, I did not meet that, and then I was able to play it, but I heard it was a phenomenal game, and I can't wait to play that. We'll be playing that probably early in 2026. Another game is Blueprints, a game that I am a little interested in, but I have not really looked into it, so I'll probably play that on the side. What else? Arc Raiders. I do have Arc Raiders as well, but I haven't played it at all, so I can't say anything about that. And then last but not least, I feel like I'm missing one more. Who else am I missing? I think that's it for now. Everything else I believe I did play. No Mario Kart World. I mean, if you mind about that, I mean, I don't think anybody expected it to be the top 10s, but yeah, no Mario Kart World or anything. But yeah, so with that's some of the lists that I want to say up front that we have not played, that that I will be playing in the future, but just right now I have not gotten to. But for right now, we're gonna go ahead and start this. So for number 10, I have, drumroll please, Peak. Peak, I think my mic actually peaked when I said that. Peak was a very fun game. They'd be calling a friend slot, but it was a very fun game to, at the beginning of the year that came out, that we were able to go ahead and play with friends, had an enjoyable time. Repo is also another game like that, but I did enjoy a little bit more with Peak than I did with Repo. Just the funny moments of climbing and just getting through it all, and the parkour and everything, and just seeing the success from it all. I do think Peak was a really good friend game that we did get throughout the year, and I think it's deserving of my number 10 spot here. Next, number 9 we have is Elden Ring Night Rain. Another game that is fun with friends, but although is still very fun solo. Night Rain is basically kind of a little bit of an expansion upon of the Elden Ring game, where it's a little bit of a multiplayer kind of battle royale style, where you go ahead and go around and go ahead and just go through 3 nights. You have the storm that closes in, and you go through, you fight enemies, get stronger, and you go through basically to go ahead. Each night you fight a boss, and then you get the final boss of that kind of route you're going at the end of and during day 3. Great times. It was very, very fun. Way better than I expected it to be, and it actually makes me a little bit more excited about Dustbloods coming out later in 2026. I know we haven't heard much about it, but I am super excited just because they did a decent job with Night Rain. Like I said, I think Night Rain is a good, fun job thing. Is it as good as all the other FromSoft games? Of course not. But I think for what it was, it could have been way worse. But it's still fun, and I enjoyed it a lot. And I think it's deserving of my number 9 spot here. Number 8 is a game that I am happy to see in this spot, and I enjoyed a lot playing. I didn't play it on stream, but I did play it off stream, and that is Ninja Gaiden 4. Ninja Gaiden 4 is basically is a great return to the hack and slash series. It seems like we're going back to a little bit of that, that action hack and slash, just combo style video games that we were getting, back in the early 2000s with the PS2 and Xbox era. A lot of games have been, following the Soulsborne software, like kind of like route, and then it kind of takes away from that. Not everybody likes that. I of course love that, but I also did grow up playing like hack and slash and like combo style games, Devil May Cry, Bayonetta. I haven't played Onimusha, but I think that's also a little bit in that, but also the Ninja Gaiden games as well. It's good to see that that we were able to go ahead and get something like this in today's day, and it's still fun. I do think it's a little interesting that they took a little bit of a DMC4 route, and if you played this game, you'll know what I mean when it came to this game. But I do think throughout it all, it was fun. It was the combos were great. The enemies didn't seem too boring, and the bosses were pretty fun. I don't really have any complaints about any bosses. So yeah, I definitely really enjoyed Ninja Gaiden 4. I can't wait to see what they do with this new main character, Yakumo, and see if they make anything else with him, because it did seem like a little bit of a passing of the torch in this game when it came down to who's going to be maybe the main character going forward in the series. Next, number 7 we have is, and I know this was up in Game of the Year, Donkey Kong Bonanza. Donkey Kong Bonanza is a really, 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 really fun game. I think it is, and I would even call, that this is kind of like, a brain rot style game. And I say that because it's it's big monkey going around, destroying everything, destructible things. Oh, let me take out this rock, let me throw out this monster and everything. Now, the biggest problem I had with Donkey Kong Bonanza is it seemed a little repetitive when it came to the bosses and, kind of like the style of what they wanted you to do. It had a little bit of, like the Mario Odyssey thing where you go around, you go find the bananas, you do different things and all that. And to the point where it's when I got probably halfway through the game, I was like, okay, let's just keep it going. I'll do the side bananas off. I just kind of want to get through this and see what's at the end, which I think the ending is phenomenal. I think the ending is a very, very big comeback, drawback to something, and I'm happy that they did that, because it seems like they knew what the fans wanted and they knew how to serve it. I had a great time with it at the end of the day. Donkey Kong Bonanza is a beautiful game, a great kids game, and a phenomenal title for the Switch too. And I can't wait to see what else they bring upon this, because right now it's just Mario Kart World, Bonanza, Metroid Prime 4, and Air Riders, which I've heard mixed things about Mario Kart World. Air Riders is obviously pretty niche. Metroid Prime 4, I'm a huge Metroid fan, but it's it's had its mixed reviews as well. So we're gonna see about that. But all right, going on for number 6, we're gonna have Silent Hill F. Silent Hill F is something that I was surprised to find very good. Obviously, we know that Silent Hill's kind of had a little bit of a rough history over the past decade and a half, since I'd probably say since Silent Hill 3, I'd say Silent Hill 4, but most would say Silent Hill 3. Silent Hill 2's remake last year was my game of the year, and it was my first time actually playing the game, that game, and I enjoyed it a lot. It was that was a beautiful game, and same thing here with Silent Hill F. Silent Hill F is a very, very interesting game, and it feels like a little bit of a different approach than I would feel most Silent Hills would be. Silent Hill is very, built on atmosphere, horror, and creeping you out, especially that's how it's getting on Silent Hill 2. This one, that has the atmosphere, it's still creepy and stuff, but if you played the game, my girl's a tank. My girl, Hanako is a tank, and it's not really, you don't really feel like Ed as a threat of anything. Now, obviously, if you play that on a hard difficulty, you may see that. I played it on normal, so that could be why. But I do enjoy that, everything, and even the story and stuff like that, it's all good. I do think my biggest complaint with it is how they kind of handle the endings. I do think, not everybody wants to play the game multiple times. I don't mind it because I enjoyed the game, but it's the multiple ending aspect just to get the full thing. Not everybody wants to do that, and I do feel the general person to play Silent Hill probably isn't into that. Just because it's kind of like an ear automata thing, where it's you can play it over and over to get the true endings, and it's even though I enjoy it, it's I know that's kind of probably a big complaint for a lot of people. Great game all around, and it isn't long, so it's even if you do it, doesn't feel like a slog, and once you know what to do, you kind of fly through it pretty quickly, except for just doing the different tasks to do to get the different endings. But overall, I think Silent Hill F is a phenomenal game in their series and is a good return to form to where we can go ahead and see in the future. It does. We obviously see Konami still has it in the tank, so hopefully they can go ahead and keep it going, and we can keep getting great Silent Hill games. But yeah, it's gonna do for that one. And then number 5, we have Mega Bonk. This is my brain rot game of the year. Let me tell you, this is a game where it's like I never played Vampire Survivors, but I knew this was kind of like a 3D version of it, and yeah, it was an addiction. At any moment I had free time or just chilling or anything, I was playing Mega Bonk. It's like to this day I still play Mega Bonk, and it's just a fun moment. In time, and I just like seeing the numbers go up. I like finding different monsters. I like getting the different upgrades, having different builds and everything like that. It's just so fun just to see, you know, that there are games like this where essentially you're not just always, you know, super serious. It has to be story based. It's just there for fun, because sometimes that's just all you want in a game. You just want something to play, to have fun. And I definitely, you know, appreciate, you know, the Mega Bonk direct creator going ahead and making this, because it's just that it's fun. It's a fun game where it's like I feel like anybody could hop in. You don't have to learn too much. You just have to learn the controls, and bing bang boom, you're going through it. It's not that like it's where you have to think too hard about until you get to like, you know, the higher things, unless you're trying to get like, you know, like so to be like the top ranks and leaderboards. That's the only times I feel like you really have to do it. But if you just want to play and have fun, you know, kick back, enjoy, you can turn this on, just go ahead, 4 buttons and aiming, and then that's it. Unless you do a challenge and we're here to stay. But yeah, no, Mega Bonk was definitely my game of like my brain rot game of the year, where it's like I feel you can just sit back, kick back, relax, not even worry about anything, and just have a good time. So yeah, that's why it's my number 5. Number 4, it's going to be Dispatch. Dispatch is a game that has had a lot of controversy. Not bad. It's all good, but it's like, you know, I think the only bad is like, obviously, you know, like how people feel about, you know, the endings. Obviously I can say right now, and I got the bad ending, but I don't feel bad about getting the bad ending. I feel like in my eyes, that's the way it should have gone. Obviously it's like, if you know, you know, when it comes down to like what causes the endings to being bad and what being good. But I think overall, it's like, you know, just this being a team that came from Telltale, you do see that, you know, it's a return to form, and that story, decision-based games are still like enjoyed. As long as it's like a fun, you know, fun characters, good comedy and good story, and then the choices, obviously, you know, it's like the controversial choices, you know, it brings attention to the games. And so we saw that with this, and obviously it brought a lot of discourse on Twitter, YouTube, everything, TikTok, where people were just like, you know, arguing and just kind of like, you know, like, no, this is the right way, and oh, why do we have to do this? Why should we have to do this? You should do it because of this reason. You know, that's what, you know, I feel like Telltale was missing, and, you know, was able to go ahead and, well, not Telltale, but the gaming industry, like decision-based games were missing. And Telltale, I think it's, I forgot, Viacom, something like that. They were able to go ahead and bring it back for it. But beautiful game, great game. I hope we get a season 2, because, you know, obviously my boy Robert Robertson needs to go ahead. We need to go ahead and get him back, because yeah, great game. Enjoyed it a lot and had a fun time with it. Aaron Paul killed it. Number 3 is gonna be Hades 2, which is another game I've been playing on my Switch, and I've been enjoying a lot. Obviously, you know, with my girl Melanoe in Hecate, it's like it's fun. It's just, I'm having just as much as fun with basically as Hades 1 I was, and I feel like it's a true improvement all around with Hades 1, which, I mean, Hades 1 was like some people's game of the year when that came out. Hades was a great game all around. Beautiful soundtrack, beautiful gameplay, great art, which I think Hades 2 should have won art direction of the year over Expedition 33. Sorry. Yeah, it's just a very fun game where it's like, you know, I love roguelike, so it's like it basically just scratches the itch in my head, and to go ahead and try different runs, try different things, to go ahead and get that win and get that, you know, go ahead and get to that final area in the game. I think it's very fun. I think the story's cool and everything like that. Not too much to say on it, and I should, even though it's my number 3, but I mean, I feel like most people know. Like Hades 3, it's like Hades. If you know about Hades 2, you know why. It's like, it's so enjoyable. But so without, let's go ahead and get straight to number 2, which number 1 and number 2, were things that I really had to think about until I really like watched other people playing, some of the other games. I really, it's like, it was a hard decision to go ahead and choose between these two, but I think I do have my final decision. And number 2 is going to be Silksong, Hollow Knight Silksong. This was a game I had zero hope for. I will be completely honest. I did not have high expectations for this game. It was basically, everybody thought it was in development hell, but we found out when it was coming out, it was in development heaven, actually. The devs that were creating it were actually just enjoying making the game so much that they just took their time, and that's why it took so long. And I can greatly say that, you see that with this game. This game is polished to a T. You have the characters, the content, the combat, and everything. It feels fresh. It doesn't feel like a DLC of Hollow Knight like a lot of people were thinking it was going to be. It has like basically hours on hours of gameplay and story, and just to go ahead and go through. And even with the Secret Act 3, obviously it's not really much a secret anymore, but it's like, you can beat the whole game, and that just be 30 hours. That's 30 hours right there. You add Act 3, that's another like 10, 20 hours right there, just because of the new content that gets added to it. And it was a fun time through and through. It was just in my head ever since it came out. It's all I wanted to play was Hollow Knight and everything like that. I enjoy it, and I think it's just because I love Metroidvanias so much. I love Metroid so much that it's like, it really just hits that tick that I got when I was a kid playing a bunch of like Metroid, games, Fusion, Zero Mission, Super Metroid, everything like that. It all just tickles me because it's like I grew up loving those games. And yeah, this game was phenomenal. I was thoroughly impressed. Team Cherry did their thing, and I'll never doubt them again. They can have me wait for 10 years and I'm not going to doubt them. They proved me wrong once, so hey, if I got proved wrong once, that's all it takes. And I loved it all around. I do wish it got more awards at the Game Awards, but it is what it is, because fortunately my number 1 and what was there was a juggernaut. So off of me saying that, you should already know my game of the year is, of course, Expedition 33, Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Expedition 33 was a game, like I said, where I saw it when they announced it, and I didn't really think too much of it. I thought it looked cool because I was like, oh, cool, turn-based games. I'm into turn-based games. That's fine. And I was like, okay, so this is interesting. Let's try it out. I heard it like the day it came out. People were like, this is really good. And I was like, okay, well, it's on Game Pass. Let me go ahead and get it. Got on Game Pass and fell in love, man. I was addicted. Just like Hollow Knight Silksong, I was addicted with this. And I can say this, it's crazy. We got 2 10 out of 10s this year, possibly more. Because like some people say, like I said, like, Death Stranding 2 and dang, what is this game called? Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. They said that's also, a 10. So it's like we might have 4 masterpieces on our hand in the year of 2025. But yeah, this game was all around great. Story, character, direction, the art. Now again, I do think KC had better art, but it was great. The game was basically made around art, and yeah, it was great. The music was phenomenal. The combat was great. It didn't feel boring. And they made it really fun. The content there, there's loads of content in this game, which is what makes like a JRP or a French RPG style fun, because it's like, all the content that could just be like not even included in the main story. I thought, that's what made it unique and fun. Now, obviously, I know there's plenty of fans who are like fighting over it. It's popular to hate it right now and stuff like that. And it's like, at the end of the day, all I gotta say is just go play it. Go make an opinion for yourself. Don't listen to the people. If people are hyping it up, there's probably a reason. If people are hating on it, sometimes there's a reason too. But sometimes people are just haters, and sometimes people just hype up stuff. But I think this game truly deserves the praise that it got, and I don't think it's wrong that it did get as many awards as it got. There's a few things I do disagree with, but it's like at the end of the day, I'm not angry at it because it's just that good. Like I said, the characters are memorable. The voice acting was phenomenal. Like just everything down to the T. The twist was really good. Obviously it's like, and everything like that. And just all the added content that you can have with it. And I know they added content after winning the game of the year at Game Awards too. So it's like, there's even more now in there. And I think, everybody should try this game. Obviously it's like, some people believe like, oh, you know, that this is, it's just another, oh, people act like there's been no other like RPGs, JRPGs throughout the year that they could go try, which I mean, yeah, that's true. There have been plenty of them that are good. And I see this as a Persona 5 moment where I grew up and it's like I tried like turn-based games and I wasn't really a fan of it. Then I tried Persona 5 and I fell in love. And it really was the eye-opener to turn-based games for me to go ahead and try like other turn-based games and go ahead and give them another chance. And it's like sometimes there has to be a game to do that. This is one of those games. Obviously, there are great other JRPGs that came out like in the past few years, but you know, there's always going to be something in the genre like Elden Ring, you know, for the Souls games that are going to bring in a more casual audience that are going to go ahead and make people want to go ahead and try those other games because it gets them into them. So, you know, it's like, this is what I say to that. You may think like, oh, people are just glazing it and just acting like it's the best thing ever, but it's like, no, it's just something for the casual audience to enjoy and can get into the genre that you like. And if you like that genre, you shouldn't be angry at that, because at the end of the day, you would want more of these types of games. They need to be popular. So it's like, I feel like Metaphor was a little bit boosted into that last year, and then, you know, obviously Persona 3 remake as well. So I think, you know, it's kind of crazy just to be angry that, you know, people do love a game so much and they give it such high praise. But at the end of the day, you know, you can't stop it. It's going to be here. You kind of got to go through with it and just enjoy it for what it is. But if you don't like it as much, that's it. But it's like, that doesn't mean that other people can't. But let me know though. How do you guys feel, you know, with my list, my top 10 list? I know it could be a little crazy. It might be a little wild. You know, some things up there. Again, you know, I haven't played everything this year. That's some things that you might enjoy. So if you think some things should be there and some shouldn't be there, or give me recommendations of what I should play that I haven't brought up, I would definitely like it. But if you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure you go ahead and go to like, comment, subscribe for more. And that notification bell so you get a notification when I drop a new video. And yeah, that's going to be it. We'll see you guys next time on Sari X. Peace.